MMAfighting.com. We're here with Jake Matthews, who takes on Rostem Akman. You didn't get a chance to face off with Rostem today. Does that take away from a bit of the pre-fight amble for you?
It's always good to size them up, but we'll get to do that at the weigh-in. So it's it just makes my day a little bit easier, less stress. We've got a lot of formalities and commitments to get through, and it's been a big week so far. So it's good to just focus on cutting weight, but we'll get to square up tomorrow.
With the greatest respect to Rostem, he has quite a lot of body hair. How do you prepare for that? Do you get your training partners to grow their back hair out and stuff to prepare for this fight?
I've been getting them to put the gi jacket on. I've been working some loop chokes and things like that. But no, look, that's his thing. I think that's the biggest part of my fight, which kind of sucks. It'd be good to hype it up in a different way, but if that's what gets it attention, then that's what happens.
But it actually is a thing in grappling, right? In grappling circles, people talk about this kind of stuff. People people really don't want to grapple with very hairy guys. Do you think it's a plan on his side? He keeps it there for a reason.
It could be like a mental ploy. I'm not fussed. I mean, if I think it's common courtesy to probably wax or shave for a fight, just for your opponent. But you wouldn't rock up to a fight. You'd have a shower before and everything and all that. But look, that's going to be the last thing on my mind on fight night. I'm probably going to get hair in my mouth, sweaty hair on my face. It's not going to bother me. I'm going in there to get the win, and that's it.
You're one of the few guys who competed on both UFC 193 and this card. How does it feel, like, comparing both of these events? Does it feel like it's the same kind of size? Does it feel like it's the same kind of scale of an event for the Australian people?
It does, probably even bigger, which is really weird considering, the card we had last time at Etihad, when it was Etihad Stadium, was massive. We had Ronda Rousey and all these other big name fighters. On paper, it doesn't seem like as big an event. We've got probably more Aussies on the card than we did last time. We've got an Aussie and a Kiwi on the headliner. But I think it shows how much the sport's grown here. That the event's probably just as big. We don't have these massive superstars like Holly Holm and Ronda Rousey fighting, but the magnitude just seems the same. So it's good.
I was reading an article you did with an Australian publication this morning, and it said that you can't remember that fight at UFC 193. You got a head kick, and you say you can't remember much from that night.
Yeah, it was always a dream to get interviewed by Joe Rogan, and that was the only time I have been, and I can't remember it. And I still won the fight, but I got a kick early in the night, and then I remember just coming to in an ambulance But I was completely coherent. I had the fight, I won, did all the interviews afterwards. I just sort of came back too in the ambulance after the fight. So it was kind of good because I don't remember anything. It was like I was on autopilot and I had a win, and I was like, okay, sweet, I'll take that.
Is that scary at all? Is that the only fight you have that kind of zero recollection of in your career?
Yeah, that's the only time it's happened. It hasn't happened since, and I've had no symptoms since then. So it is, it's the life it chose, I guess. We get injuries all the time in training, and it's kind of scary to think, that kick only just dazed me, and that's what it sort of did. So I can only imagine guys who get knocked out a lot. But that's why the sport's progressing and the science is progressing behind it, and we're trying to take care of our bodies now.
How does it feel to be like a veteran of this scene and still so young? You know what I mean? Like, it feels like you're one of the longest flag bearers for Australian MMA on the international scene. It must be a crazy feeling because you're still very young, right?
Yeah, it is weird. You see like these older guys, and I've had more fights, and on paper, and I'm sort of the senior veteran there. But yeah, I don't know. I just got in young, I guess, and I took the opportunity when I had it. I could have stayed in uni and done all that, but I decided to chase my dream, and it worked out for me. And what we say, till the wheels fall off. So I'll keep going till the body says no more, and we'll probably still go a little bit more even then. But I'll fight as long as I can.
Just finally, I remember after UFC 193, there was a lot of hit pieces put out in the papers and stuff about MMA, about the UFC. Do you feel like the perception of the organisation, the sport itself, has changed a lot since the last time?
Oh, it's done a complete 180. There's probably the majority of people I spoke to in the media were against it, and they thought we're all knuckleheads and tattoos, and then they meet me and this young, unassuming kid and clean skin, I don't swear, don't go out and party and all that, and I seem to be able to persuade them, and they're all on board. And now this event, now it's the opposite. It's sort of only a minority of people that are against the sport. I think having all the prime times and the countdowns that give an insight into the fighters' lives is a big part of it, because they see that, we don't just go fight and then just go get locked back in our cage. We go home, we have families and kids, and we've got normal lives. Some fighters like to go and, they go and surf. Some go out camping and hunting, and just normal people doing normal things. And we just chose a different line of work. And I think that was a big part of getting people to say, oh, okay, they're proper athletes.
As an Irishman, I got to ask you about your name, the Celtic Kid. What do you have Celtic roots? What is that?
Yeah, we do. So the way that came about, my grandma did an ancestry book, and then traces it back to Scotland, Ireland, and all that. So, and I was sort of trying to come up with a nickname, a fight name, and I was still young, but I was younger at the time, and just sort of threw Celtic and Kid together, and it sort of worked. I think I was going off the California Kid Uriah Faber, and I sort of stole a bit from him, but yeah, it's sort of stuck from there and seemed to work.
Thanks so much, Jake.
No worries, thanks very much, mate. Appreciate it.